Hello, everyone. This is another episode of Natural as F. I'm your host, Dr. Ferrante Frazier. I'm a holistic practitioner here in Savannah, Georgia, showing people how to correct their health issues without the use of medicines, without the use of herbs. There's no need for treatments, no incantations, or anything like that. What we do is educate the individual on lifestyle habits that are creating their sickness and the lifestyle habits that can actually create their wellness. All right. So those two are in opposition with each other. You got habits that cause you to become sick, and you got habits that cause you to be healthy. You know. I know a lot of people want to believe that you get sick from other stuff, like you have no control of why you get sick or anything like that. But in reality, our lifestyle habits, the conditions we put our body up under, is what cause us to be at a dis-ease or have us at discomfort. All right. So we're going to be uncomfortable if we are not, participating in the right daily lifestyle habits. They'll soon catch up with us. Believe that. All right. So we want to thank the ATR Media, Our Black Media, for allowing us to have this platform. Make sure you go like their page on Facebook and follow, where you can be kept up to date on all of the information that's relevant to our group right now and to us. Health is very relevant to information that need to be in the community, and our show, Natural as F, we come on every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, bringing you valuable information about how to restore your body back to health. No one wants to be sick. No one wants to be hurting. No one wants to be in pain and suffering. Well, if you don't, why not let's learn and do something about it? Become aware of what's making you sick. Become aware of what's causing you pain. You know, Become aware of what's making you suffer. Once you become aware, you learn the conditions of health, which we teach right here on Natural as Health, then you apply them. This is what we call applied natural hygiene. There's natural hygiene, the science, where you learn the ways of health. Then there's the application, how to apply natural hygiene to your life to allow your body to restore itself. That is the way to do it. So let me start off by already telling you some words that we learned in natural hygiene that you must know too when you're looking to heal your body from the health issues that you're suffering from. There are two words I want you to become familiar with as we go through this show today. Our topic being acute disease and chronic disease. Now, those are not the two words, even though those two different types of disease, acute and chronic, they're not really two types of diseases. They're just a change in degree of the so-called disease. You have a light cold and you have a heavy cold. Well, there's a acute disease and then there's chronic disease. There's still disease. One is acute and one is chronic. The sneeze can be acute or it can be chronic sneezing. You can have an acute uh, um, situation of coughing, then there can be a chronic cough. You can have acute diarrhea and you can have chronic diarrhea. You can have acute bronchitis or you can have chronic bronchitis. Acute asthma, chronic asthma. No, you get my point here, right? So any disease can be either acute or chronic. In science and in human health and natural hygiene, we believe that there's only one disease, right? Now, the way that that disease manifests itself, that's what doctor call disease. We believe that the disease is the poison in your body, toxemia. Now, wherever that the body deemed necessary to get rid of that poison, if it's coming out through the nose, if it's coming out through the eyes, if it's coming out through the skin, if it's coming out through the colon, if it's coming out through the lungs, well, whatever route that the body uses to free itself of the accumulated waste in your body, that's what doctors name your disease. If it's coming out through your eyes, you know, some type of eye infection. If it's coming out through your nose, a sinus infection. If it's coming out through your skin, call it some eruption, some eczema, or some other name that they give it. So wherever the toxins are being freed out of your body, doctors conveniently give a name to it. All right. So let's look at these toxins. Now, why is toxins in your body? All right. So we seeing that disease is just one disease, even though doctors call it many. They give disease many names, but there's only one disease, and it's manifested through the route of the body's choosing, and the doctor give name to that route. So these, you got two types of toxins according to natural hygiene. You got endogenous toxins and you got exogenous toxins. Endogenous, exogenous. Endogenous, that means toxins that are created within the body. Then you have exogenous, like exogenous. Endo meaning in, exo meaning out. So you got endogenous toxins, toxins that are accumulated and built or originated from within the body, and you got exogenous toxins. Those are toxins that come from without the body inside the body. All right, what are some examples of endogenous toxin? All right, spent cell debris. When cells get old, they're worn out, well, they become toxic to the internal environment, and the body conveniently remove them, tear them down, and take them to an elimination organ to be eliminated out of the body. This is what we call metabolism, anabolism, and catabolism, tearing up and building down of the body. All right, so this is a toxin that is generated within the body, or its origins are within the body. Also, we see that when food rots inside of us, it could be wholesome food, it could be great food, but if we eat those foods under bad conditions, when we're sad, when we're upset, when we're stressed real bad, or we're overworking it, or whatever, that doesn't allow that food to digest properly. Food that doesn't digest properly tends to rot in our body. Rotten food become poisonous. Rotten food can't be turned into flesh and blood, bones and cellular tissues and stuff like that. Rotten food becomes just what it is: rotten, poison. So it become toxic to the cells and tissues in the body. So the body sees this as a threat and tends to do something about it. It can't sit there and just let toxins run around in the body. So what the body does is it finds, it goes and neutralizes the toxin, take it to a route of elimination, and eliminate the toxins out. You know, Under normal conditions, the body might take it to normal routes of elimination, such as your kidney. You might urinate it out. It might take it to the colon, and you have a bowel movement. It might take it to the lungs, and you breathe it out. So these are the normal routes in which the body can use to get rid of waste. But when those routes are tired, fatigued, or abused, or damaged, then the body have to find alternative routes. Now, those alternative routes are what we call diseases. All right. So when, you know, instead of uric crystals coming out through the urine, they start coming out through your lungs. That's not going to be as good to have urine coming out of your lungs or coming out through your skin. It's kind of hurt, burn, irritate. It's caused you to have the pleurisy and the different pneumonias coming out through your lung. So that is not an ideal route, but it's necessary under the conditions, because if the toxins remain in the body, then you'll die. So since the body can't use the kidneys in which to get rid of these uric crystals, salts, and other so-called crystals, the body uses an alternative route in which to get rid of the waste out of the body. That alternative route is a dis-ease, or it's going to be uncomfortable having you urinating out through your lungs, or you urinating out through your eyes and your skin and stuff like that. I know that may sound terrible, but that's what's actually happening. The doctor might not want to tell you that, or you might just not be aware of that's what's going on, but that's what's going on. So those are some examples of endogenous waste that originates from within the body. But there's also exogenous waste that originate from without of the body, from without. So we know food that comes in the body that is toxic. That is waste that you're just throwing in your body. Drinks, drugs of any kind of drugs. I know a lot of people like to think that recreational drugs is poison, but they don't think Tylenol and all the other medicines from the doctors are poison. It's poison, you know. Every poison, your body reacts to poison in a bad situation. That's why every drug you get from a doctor has some reaction. Now, body don't react to food in a negative way when it's wholesome food. Now, it reacts to poisonous food, such as your honey buns, your cookies, your tater chips, your macaronis, your oxtails and gravy, your steak and potatoes and stuff like that. So, yeah, it does react to that. But when you eat wholesome food, such as fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, your body don't react to that negatively. Matter of fact, it welcomes that food and makes it a part of the body, flesh and blood. So exogenous toxins are toxins from air that comes from without. It's also from chemical poisons that we have in our environment. We wash our clothes with. We use incense burning in our houses. We use colognes on our bodies, Febreze, all kind of different pollution that we allow to come into our body via our breathing, via us putting it through our mouth, having it on our skin with lotions and different rubs that we put on our body, the soaps we use, and all those different things are toxins that are coming from without that we are allowing in our body. So there are two ways to get toxins: those that are created from within and those that come from without. Now, the thing about it is when toxins accumulate in our body, we end up with this situation called toxemia or toxicosis. Now, toxemia is poison blood. Toxemia, poison blood. Toxicosis is when the blood starts spilling the waste in the cells, and the cells can't dump their waste in the blood because, see, the blood is supposed to pick up the waste and take it to an elimination organ, like take it to the trash can. The trash can would be the kidneys, the colon, the lungs that get rid of waste. They're the waste removals from the body, from the blood. When the blood goes to the lungs filter the blood of waste. When the blood goes to the kidneys filter the blood of waste. When the blood goes to the colon, the colon filters the blood of waste. All right. So that's why you see people who are on dialysis, if they don't do dialysis, their blood stay real toxic and poisonous. So this is the same thing. Under normal conditions, you don't need a dialysis machine to do what the kidneys can do naturally. But when the kidneys are unable to do what they're supposed to do, then the toxins build up in the blood and can kill you. You can see people can die quick if they don't go and get dialysis or get on the dialysis machine and filter their blood. Well, under normal conditions, we can do this on our own when we keep a healthy kidney and protect our kidney. We don't overwork our kidney. and we don't abuse our kidneys with a bunch of toxic stuff that rips and tears up our kidneys, like the sodas, the uric crystals from eating excesses of meat, you know, um, salt crystals going through, because salt burns and destroys cells and tissues. If you cut yourself and pour some salt in there, it's gonna burn like pure D. You know what? Can't say those words up here. And wouldn't I would say that when my show is called Natural as Elf, but that's natural as Fraser, and maybe some other stuff as well. But let's look at it. There are things that where it's not always from damage. Like your kidneys don't have to not work because they have been damaged. They could not work because they've been overused. They don't have energy to work anymore. If you're constantly running your kidney, like look at a person, for example, who drank a bunch of alcohol. He ended up with kidney failure and then kidney damage, right? Oh, well, why do he have kidney failure and kidney damage? Is it that the liquor or the alcohol is damaging his lungs? I mean, his kidneys, or is it that he's constantly going to the bathroom? He's constantly going to the bathroom. He's constantly going to, as soon as you start drinking, I got to get up. I got to go to the bathroom. Them bars, those nightclubs, their bathroom is flush more than any toilet in the city. It'd be more than even a restaurant, unless they sell alcohol at that restaurant. But alcohol is going to run the body to the bathroom more rapidly. Why? Because alcohol is poison. The body cannot tolerate poison. Just because you eat it and you drink it doesn't mean that your body wants it inside of it, this stuff inside of it. So at all times, it start rejecting this stuff. It start throwing it out. It got you sweating. It got you throwing up. It got you urinating excessively. You having diarrhea. All this to get rid of the alcohol by any means necessary. Now, eventually, if you continue the bad habit, then the body will learn to tolerate it. Now, that's a chronic issue. When your body no longer have the ability to free itself of poison. All right. Now you're dealing with a more chronic issue, but we'll get to that in a minute. So your body your kidneys can run out from abuse, overuse. All right. So we got something that we look at as weakening the whole entire body. The whole entire body can be robbed of energy. Our body run on a low grade of energy that's produced in our brain, that travels down our spinal cord to our peripheral nerves, and then into every cell in the human body. So the brain is connected to the cell via the spinal cord and the peripheral nerves. Those are the connections. And the power center is the brain that sends power to all those organs and tissues, all right, via the nervous system. The biggest power line is the spinal cord. That's where you see the conglomerate of nerve tissues and fibers that comes from the base of the brain. And then it spreads out by these little small lines to the cells and give functioning power to the cells. It's just like Georgia Power. Georgia Power creates a lot of energy for Georgia. But we not tap straight into, we don't have one line coming straight from Georgia Power to all our individual houses. No. Georgia Power will send power out via these big old heavy high voltage lines. That's the spinal cord. And then they are broken down by, transformers into smaller lines and, less power. And then it goes right into our houses, connects into our houses. Those are the peripheral nerves. All right. So our body runs the same just like that. And, we have lights in the house. We have function in the cells. Now, when the body is not producing enough energy because we are not getting enough rest and sleep, how some people say, I'll sleep when I die. Right now, I got to keep on running. And they're wondering why their body is shutting down. Certain organs and tissues no longer have functioning power like they used to have because you are squandering away all of your power. It's like on the payment plan system with Georgia Power, and you're running. When you go to sleep, you pay Georgia Power $200 for power, but when you're up, you're burning that power like within hours. You burning up the whole $200. It's like a prepaid system. You go to sleep, get energy, then you use the energy out here, throughout the day, eating, drinking, playing, working, it's talking on a show, reading a book, you know, hanging out with friends, whatever you do, it requires energy to do it. And if you're not recuperating or restoring power back to your body through sleep and rest, then you're squandering away all your vitality. You're going into your savings account. You know, you don't want to go into your savings account. But anyhow, things that rob us of our energy are uncleanliness. That's both external and internal. Unclean air, impure water, inadequate rest and sleep, eating foods that are not suitable for human consumption. Let me make sure we define that. Right? A lot of people think that, if you can eat it, it's okay. But the only thing that was suitable for human consumption is fresh, wholesome, uncooked fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. That's it. Anything else, you're going into foreign territory. You're going into a strange land. It's best that you back up out of there. You know, you don't want to be in that terrain at all. Inadequate sunshine and natural light, abnormal temperatures, lack of regular exercise. Now, a lot of people say, "What is this?" When I have clients come in and I talk with them, and I notice that one thing that they have a problem with is normal temperatures, and they wonder, like, you mean to tell me normal temperatures or inadequate temperatures is what's causing me to be fatigued and causing my organs not to function like they're supposed to? Well, yes. A lot of people don't see how temperature can zap your energy. Let's look at a person who is stuck in a frozen in a frost somewhere, in a snowstorm. They become less active. They have no power like they once had when it's hot. You know what I'm saying? When it's hot, you see activity faster. You can even see a bee or a fly. You know what I'm saying? When it's cold, they move slow. When they're hot, they move fast. So the energy level or the energy expended is slower. You can't generate it faster when the temperature is not ideal. Now, too hot, you're wasting energy because your body have to cool itself down. Imagine when you're in the shower and you're taking a hot shower and you're expending a huge amount of energy to keep your body cool, because your body got to maintain a temperature around 97 to 99. Homeostasis around about 98.6, right? But anywhere up in that area, it's not that bad. All right. So anytime you in a shower with 150-degree water, or you sitting in a jacuzzi balling yourself like you cooking crabs, you know what I'm saying? Your body have to cool itself down. Now, you think that the cooling down, the sweating and all that doesn't use energy? All that uses energy. Let's imagine the person who's, sitting eating a bunch of ice cream, eating a bunch of cold food, eating a bunch of ice, drinking cold drinks and stuff like that. You're bringing your core down really low, and your body have to maintain homeostasis, which is, around 98.6, like we just said. So you drinking frozen water that's real low in temperature, and you causing your cells and tissues to go down or be subjected to that low temperature. Now the body have to use its energy to warm up those cells and tissue, or otherwise they will die. Your stomach, you have to have more blood sent to it to warm up that stomach. Wherever the coldness is at, the body is going to have to send blood to that area to raise that temperature back up. Now, do you think that's wasted energy? Yes, that's definitely wasted energy. All right, so we don't have buku energy. Little you might think that you full of power, but your power will soon run out if you keep squandering it away haphazardly for no reason at all. You can't just sit around and go thinking you're a big spender, spending all your energy, on tater chips, cookies, hamburgers, hot dogs, staying up all night, drinking all kind of drinks, smoking all kind of stuff, taking all kind of pills. Working all, nonstop, so you're wasting energy. And your energy is like on go. You're a big spender. But by spending big, you eventually go into energy debt. All right. When you're in energy debt, then that's when the body start putting a check on the use of unnecessary energy. That's one of the laws of biological laws of nature and of the human body, of physiology. We'll say physiology. The laws of physiology. When when you have huge amounts of energy, well, the body lets you just spend it up like crazy. It doesn't care. It cares, but it can't do nothing about it until it gets to a point where the body is about to suffer and die. Then it pulls back on the use of that power. So you see, the person who was young and vibrant is no longer young and vibrant. They're now a little slower. And if they keep on with the bad habit, the body will, as the energy level in the body keep going down, well, it's going to start cutting off more, use of energy. It's going to start cutting off more organs and shutting down different processes in the body. So according to the amount of energy is according to how your body runs. When the energy starts coming down, so is the processes of the body. Coming down, the processes come down. The energy comes down, the processes come down until eventually you're in a chronic situation. Acute problem is when your body was up here and it went down a little bit. It's a little problem happened. You felt the difference. You didn't have to get up and spunk like you used to. But when that thing have you around here dragging, boy, you're in a chronic fatigue now. All right. Chronic fatigue is power failure. You got almost a blackout about to happen from Georgia Power. Only way you can get energy and restore your body back to full functioning power is through rest and sleep. A lot of us wish to believe that we can, get energy from a pill, or we can get it from a buku energy shot, or the B12 shot, or any of these so-called remedies and drugs that mankind is sticking themselves with it and swallowing with no reserve. There are 7 stages of disease. Like I said, in natural hygiene, there's only one disease, and that one disease have 7 stages. The first stage is innervation. Now, what is innervation? Innervation is when you're ran out of power. You're fatigued. So you don't see, when you go to the doctor and you're suffering with a problem and he can't really find out or tell you what's really going on with you because he cannot pinpoint it because you're just describing a feeling. He look on his MRIs, his SPECT scans, and all type of other scans. He don't see any organic damage. He can't see the toxins in your body. He can't see the waste buildup or anything like that. All he sees Oh, he don't see anything because there's no organic damage yet. The organ, the kidneys hasn't been damaged yet. It hasn't shriveled up yet from overuse and abuse. Right now, the kidneys is just tired from constantly working, constantly working. It's constantly working. So now it's tired. It stopped working and it's hurting. It's in pain. But it hasn't shriveled up yet. It hasn't degenerated yet. It hasn't gotten to that point. He give you some medicine to force it back to working. Now it's back to working. He's forcing it back to working, but he's forcing a tired kidney back to working. So the kidneys is tired, but it's forced to work. It's forced to work even though it's tired. All right. So every time it goes and shut down, you go and beat it back to activity. Every time it shut down, you beat it back to activity. So it's never getting any rest. It's tired and it shuts down even faster. You beat it. It shuts down even faster. You beat it. It shuts down. Now it's shut. Even though you beating it, it's just shut. All right. Then you go take another so-called different pill, or take two more pills instead of the one, and it beats it back. And it starts shutting down. You beat it, shut down. You beat it, and it shut down. Now, no matter what you take, nothing is happening. The kidneys have now been destroyed. You go to the doctor and he say, "Oh, your kidneys are messed up." Nah, he see it now because all his medicines and his therapies and all that damage your kidney. Now, you don't want to believe that the medicine did it, but you've been on this medicine. You go to him for high blood pressure, and then he gives you a diuretic or some other water pill, some blood pressure medicine to pull the fluid out of your body. Well, how you think the fluid going to get out of your body? You know, the kidneys were doing it at the beginning. The only reason why you now with high blood pressure is because the kidneys are fatigued. They're at stage 1. They're fatigued. All right. And now you beat it back into activity. And so now, yeah, you start urinating more and the pressure come down. Yes. But you overworking a tired kidney. So yeah, you don't see the damage right now, but you keep this up for a couple of years and you will suffer kidney damage. Now the doctor is going to say, "Oh, you going into kidney failure." He the one put you in the kidney failure. But he wouldn't want to believe that his drugs is what did that. So you go to stage 2, which is toxemia. Nerve energy is too low to eliminate metabolic waste and ingested poison. So this is what happens the first time. You know, you innovation, you become fatigued, and that fatigue tends to not allow your kidneys to filter the blood. So the blood pressure goes up because the toxins in the blood becomes higher. And now you're suffering with toxemia. And you go take medicine. But let's say you don't take medicine, but you keep up the bad habit. Stage 3, irritation. The toxins inside, they start irritating the body. But you notice you already went into acute disease. You're already in an acute state of crisis or an acute stage of disease. Fatigue is an acute. It comes on. That's why it come on in bouts. All right. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Let me run down these 7 stages, and then I'm going to go into the difference between acute and chronic. You should know a little bit because I've been hitting there and a little bit there about the two. So we go from stage 2 to stage 3, which is irritation. The toxic buildup in the body start irritating cells and tissue. Now the doctor, he can't evaluate fatigue. He can't test for toxemia, and he can't test for irritation. He starts seeing it at the form of inflammation, which is stage 4. Inflammation is where the toxins have irritated a cell to the point where it's damaged. All right, so you got inflammation from constant irritation. Now, okay, I can scratch my hand, and I can keep scratching it till it becomes irritated. I can well, the scratching is the irritation, and it will eventually start turning red and blisters and bleeding. That's from the irritation, and then ulceration, the bleeding, it's cracking, busting. You know, so that's stage 5. Then, if I keep on doing it, it'll start building calluses. Now that's stage 6, which is induration or hardening. That hardening is to protect from the constant irritation. But a hard hand don't bend good. Or I can't do things with a hard hand. So it has changed its function. It's no longer functioning like a soft, beautiful hand. It's now a ugly, hideous, something scab. You know what I mean? So stage 7, which is the last stage of disease, is degeneration and fungation, which is cancer. Ongoing damage to a cell, changing its function. When you change the function of a cell and you change its structure, that's cancer. Cancer is a cancer cell is a cell that don't function properly and is not structured properly. It's an ugly structure. It's not like the regular cells or normal healthy cells. It don't look like that. It's not shaped like that. It don't function like that. That is a cancerous cell. So we are creating cancer in our own bodies. It's a creation from us going from acute to chronic. You follow me here? All right. So it's nothing that we need to be looking for, like some type of, what's the cause of cancer? Well, it's the lifestyle. How lifestyle produces that. And how we are living in our lifestyle. So let's look at acute disease and chronic disease, because we're fastly running out of time here. And I want to make sure that we have enough time to distinguish the two. So if you got a paper and a pen, it'll be good to write these down in shorthand as fast as you can. I'm going to make sure I repeat each one of them twice. But we're going to start off with acute disease. And I'm going to say something about acute disease, and then I'm going to say something about chronic disease. It's going to be a verse. All right, so we're going to say acute disease versus the chronic disease, or contrast it against the chronic disease. Acute disease has a short, sharp course of only a few hours, days, or weeks. All right, now listen to that. An acute disease is a short, sharp course of action of only a few hours, few days, or a few weeks. Now, that's what acute means, sharp, acute. All right, acute angle, a sharp angle. So it's quick onset. It comes on real quick, and it only lasts for about a few hours, a few days, or weeks, and it's gone. It's what you call a flare-up. All right. Now, the chronic disease is a disease that persists for a long time, many months, or even years. If you're battling with an ache and pain in your joint for years, then you got a chronic issue. If your joint aches once a month for about a day or two, or every 6 months you have a little flare up in the arm or something like that, in the shoulder, and it lasts for about a week or two, that's an acute issue. But it's letting you know that the chronic issue is somewhere in the horizon, somewhere around the corner. You just need to do something. So it's giving you warning signs. Acute gives you warning signs. It's there to rid you of that issue, of the poison, of the damage, or whatever, real quick. As long as you have energy to do it, it'll do it real quick. So acute disease has a short, sharp course of only a few hours, days, or weeks. Whereas a chronic disease is a disease that persists for a long time, for many months, many years. All right, so let's go to the next one. Acute disease has a relatively shorter period of development due to lowered ability to tolerate toxic saturation. The acute sufferer may seem to flare up into the acute stage suddenly and oftentimes with a great show of vitality. So when you're going through an acute crisis, it comes on quick, like out of the blue, and it comes vigorously because the body with high energy levels does not tolerate poison. So it puts it out vehemently. Now, chronic disease has a relatively prolonged period of development. It takes years for you to create a damaged digestive tract. It takes years of abuse to your body. All right. Let's look at an acute disease as, you throwing up from drinking alcohol. You take alcohol for the first time, you throw up. That's an acute disease. But when you keep on drinking for a long time, you develop liver cancer or kidney cancer. Uh, the acute disease was trying to keep you away from the liver and the kidney cancer because it was throwing the alcohol back up. It wasn't giving it time to get to the liver or the kidneys. But once you keep on doing it over and over, and your body no longer can throw it up because you done wasted huge amounts of energy, the body tends to tolerate the poison instead of throwing it up. Now you ain't throwing up off the first drink. It takes you a whole bottle to throw up now. But that whole bottle is sitting inside of you. Now it's filtering out through your kidneys. It's damaging your liver. So you end up with a more chronic issue. So it takes years into drinking and stuff to do damage to your liver, kidneys, from drinking alcohol. So that's why those are chronic diseases. Whereas diarrhea, excessive urination, those are acute diseases. They come on as soon as you go to drinking. You don't get cancer of the liver. Your first drink, you don't get cancer of the liver. Or you don't get cancer of the kidney. But you do. You might throw up. You might run to the bathroom. You might start sweating. So those are acute crises versus the chronic situations that, it's in a developmental stage. It takes years to develop. The acute disease may last only a few hours, days, or weeks after strict adoption of the energy enhancers and immediate abandonment of the energy robbers. So your acute disease can go away rapidly when you stop the bad habit. Stop the habit and it'll go away. Like within a day or two, you'll see yourself recover when you're in an acute stage. But when you're in a chronic stage, it will last the rest of the chronic sufferer's lifetime. If strict adoption of the energy enhancers and immediate abandonment of the energy robbers is not instituted. So if you don't change your lifestyle habits, your disease can plague you, irritate you, cause you to suffer every day of your life for the rest of your life if you don't do something to change your lifestyle. You don't have to deal with your aches and pains for life if you're willing to give up some bad habits and adopt the natural ways of health that I spoke about at the beginning of this, abandon the energy robbers and embracing our, physiological needs such as the fresh air, sunlight, drinking only water, only eating fresh fruits and vegetables, staying away from toxic people, keeping the will to live, getting adequate sunlight, keeping clean, getting rest, regular exercise, all those things that we talked about earlier in the show. If you embrace those and abandon the toxic lifestyle, put down the alcohol, put down the drugs, put down the toxic food, put down the excessive lifestyle that's wasting and squandering away your energy, then you'll see yourself spring back to life, But you have to do that. Otherwise, you're going to live the rest of your life with your aches and your pain. And it's going to get worse and worse until it becomes unbearable. But you have to become aware of what in your environment and your lifestyle that's producing your sickness. And all you have to do is align yourself up with those 10 ways of health that we keep talking about, those biological needs, our basic needs, and stop the energy robbers. Stop robbing yourself of energy and allow your body to heal and repair. And then be a good steward once you regain your energy and your health back. Don't just go back out and throw it away. I have people who come, and once we show them how to heal themselves, they, oh boy, I'm about to go and turn up now. I'm back to normal. Why? Turning up is what got you sick. You know, I have people say, I gotta, when they done did good and lost 50 pounds, 15 to 50 pounds, done, got their strength back, walking better, not tumbling and fumbling all over themselves. The pain has gone away. Oh man, I gotta, do something good for myself. I gotta have a cheat day, and all this kind of stuff. Why? Cheating and all that stuff is what had you in the predicament that you were in. All right. So acute disease, it reflects a strong enough supply of nerve energy and residential vitality that forcefully elimination of toxic waste and conduction of the reparative process is still possible. Excuse me there. The body, that is, has sufficient vitality to conduct a healing crisis. So, in other words, what our lesson just said was an acute disease shows that the body has a huge amount of energy to do a rigorous house cleaning. So that means that it can do a rigorous house cleaning and save the body from unnecessary damage and premature death. So it takes the opportunity to do so when it has high amounts of energy. But a chronic issue reflects a state of toleration of toxins. It is a state of continued elimination of toxins on a lower level than an acute disease. So when you have huge amounts of energy, your body gets rid of the toxins like boom, like that. Just throw it out. You have a forceful diarrhea. But if you don't have much energy, your body will still try to get rid of the waste, but it can't do it all at once. Think about if you had a young, vibrant maid cleaning your house. Clean the whole house in a day. But imagine if you had a rundown old lady who, seen her time, had her day back in the days, but she's no longer vital like she used to be. She can only do one room a day. So it'll take her 10 days to do 10 rooms, whereas the young, vibrant who can bounce around can do it all in one day. So the body in a acute disease can clean the house all in one day, whereas because it has the energy to do so. But in a chronic disease, the energy is not there. So the body have to slowly be able to, get rid of the waste over a period of time, usually a long period of time. That's why the chronic disease is long-standing. But for it to be able to do that, it have to modify its cells and tissues to tolerate the poison. All right, since it can't get rid of the waste and poison real fast, if it sits inside you, it can kill you. So the body have to harden itself. It got to produce calluses. So this is a modification of the cell. This is a change in structure. Now, we talked about when cells are changed in structure, this is what we call cancer. Huh? Okay. So you following me here? All right. We got a little bit more minute here, so we're going to finish this on up. I want to go a little more in detail, but we're going to finish this up. Acute disease results in, at best, complete reversal of the disease process. So acute disease is there to do a rigorous house cleaning to reverse whatever damage, that was done real quick in a hurry. The chronic results in the complete arrest of the disease process and possibly in the reversal of much of the abnormal tissue changes and degenerations that have already taken place. That's if the energy enhancers are adopted soon enough. It can arrest the issue. It might not completely reverse it, like how the acute problem can, you end up with a lung issue. It can reverse that lung issue back to full functioning power, like a brand new lung. But when you allow it to go on and keep having these flare-ups and you taking medicine and you're not doing anything to change your lifestyle, it eventually get to stages 6 and 7, ulceration, induration, and leading into, fungation, which is cancer, degeneration, which is still cancer, you know, degenerative diseases. But anyhow, that itself it can be like stopped or put to a halt where it don't progress anymore, or it can be slightly reversed. I don't know if it can go back to brand new, but it can still backtrack a little bit, and it can definitely put a halt to where you at now. You don't have to get worse. I say, man, I'm doing nothing but getting worse. When every time I go to the doctor, well, you don't have to get worse. In fact, you can reverse some of the damage that has been done and get back to living life a little better and go on and to live a good long lifetime. So acute disease is designated remedial in nature, as acute disease is an orderly process by which the body attempts to detoxify and repair itself. So the acute disease is just your body. It's a remedial process. It's your body trying to remedy a toxic situation or trying to repair and remedy a damaged situation. So in nature, it's only there to bring about balance back to the body. A chronic issue is remedial in nature if the energy enhancers are strictly adhered to. However, some tissue changes of a detrimental nature have taken place in chronic disease. The tissue degeneration are sometimes reversible, sometimes it's not, depending on the severity and the type of tissue damage. Certain organs in the body, they become, you let it get so far that healing is not, total repair is not capable of happening. Well, it can put a halt to the process, like we said a few minutes ago. But certain organs, when we let them get too far, too advanced into sickness and disease, really nothing can be done about that then. That's why you don't want to wait too late. What you can do now, what you can start changing, your lifestyle today and correcting problems in. All right. So the last one here, acute disease, uses up nerve energy in the elimination of toxic waste and in cellular repair, such that tissue integrity and normal organ and systemic functioning are improved. The health seeker may feel enervated or exhilarated when the acute crisis is past, depending on the amount of nerve energy expended and on the kind and amount of toxic overload expelled. So depending on what waste is inside of us, the body have to use a certain amount of energy to get rid of a certain kind of waste and a certain amount of waste. The more toxic the waste is, the more of the toxic waste there is, the more energy is required in which to expel or rid the body of that waste. That ridding is a remedial effort. That ridding is an acute crisis of healing. So that acute crisis is there to rid the body of this waste. Now, the body have to use waste according to how much and the kind. So if it's really bad waste and it's a lot of it, your body is going to use a lot of energy to get rid of it. If it's just a little bit of waste and you got high energy, and well, to get it down a little more, you're just going to lose a little bit of energy. All right? So that's how it works. Now, chronic disease is ended with cellular poisoning such that tissues, organs, and whole systems lose their functional integrity, ending in long-term misery and or death of the chronic sufferer. So, cellular poisoning, a chronic disease, if your body is not ridding the body of the waste fast and in a hurry, then that poison remain in the body, in the blood, in the tissue, which we call toxicosis, and it will start irritating the cells and tissue, start causing inflammation in the cells and tissue, start causing ulceration in the cells and tissue, start causing a hardening in the cells and tissue, resulting in degeneration and fungation in the cells and tissue, which is cancer. All right. So, with that being said, I hope you were able to understand the conditions of health, what it takes to allow your body to heal, the types of toxins, exogenous, endogenous, and the acute versus chronic disease. You should be able to pinpoint where you at in your sickness today. If you're at an acute crisis, learn how to allow the acute crisis to run a course and let your body heal where you can get back to full functioning power. Know if you're in chronic disease. Look where you at and try to change and turn around where you can either put a halt to your sickness, where you can be in what they call remission, or turn that boy around and, find the fountain of youth. So this has been another episode of Natural as F. I can't wait to see y'all next week. We're going to have a bunch of shows about natural health and healing where you can learn how to heal your body. Not only come to yourself and watch this wonderful show that Our Black Media is offering on their platform, but also tell a friend. Tell a friend that this guy with some long hair, always talking bad about the medical society and talking about how body heal itself, y'all should come and listen. Tell them. Best of health and happiness. Y'all know I love y'all, and I'll see y'all next week. Next week.
Like that.